Sit back, dear friends, and hear the tale, when fairies flew and ships did sail. You know the stories often told, of Peter Pan, both brave and bold, of Tinker Bell, clever and smart, of evil men born black of heart, adventure and treasure buried in sand. Time held its breath in Neverland. But darkness fell on the island fair, a sickness rose of no compare. Each creature and plant fell one by one, no respite found for anyone. So the island died, its people scattered, those left behind broken and battered. Years went by, no end in sight. Then through the darkness came new light. The island breathes and life returns. Within our heroes a fire burns. The drive to find those who are lost, to build a home at any cost. Join pixies, skeletons, a mermaid or two, healers, never boys, and lost boys too. They're here each week, new stories told. So pull up a chair and never grow old.
Hi everybody! Welcome. It is Thursday night, and it's not normally a night for D&D, but it is tonight! Woo! Welcome to Indigo Chameleon as we play a little Dungeons & Dragons. We have a few announcements before we get started with tonight's game. You should come and hang out with us. If you are watching this episode, you should come hang with us on Discord and see all the cool stuff that is happening there. We have a memes channel, we have an inspiration channel, we have all sorts of fun things to do on the Discord. And it helps you know the latest schedule, so come and visit us on the Discord. We also have a merch shop where you can find cool shirts like the one Moswell is wearing. Some of these cool mugs that you see at the table. Ooh, thank you, Meowdit. Those are not for purchase on the website, but they're still pretty cool. But they.
Oh, well.
Buy the shirt.
Okay.
Mugs and shirts are where it's at.
I don't like being in the middle. I can't leave.
But if you would like to get something too that just helps support the channel and you can collect, Dimitri's has his very own online store. If you are watching us on desktop, you can scroll down just a little tiny bit. Every episode, I like to release one item associated with a character. And today's episode, I was like, Ryan's here, I really missed him. I'm going to do an item called Bo's Bodacious Brew. And it's this really cool, mug and brew. And I put it up, and I was like, guys, I just put up and it's purchased.
Who would do that?
There are other limited edition items on there, including you can buy re-rolls for the cast. What about you please? Beer glasses. Ooh, we'll talk about that. 12 for 10 cents. That might be fun. You can get that on there. There's some other limited edition items on there, including some coins that you can get, some Neverheart necklaces, and you can even purchase Heyo Action Sturge. You can even purchase an NPC directly implanted into Wonder or Neverland. The spoiler feature to find out a specialized spoiler about Neverland or Wonder has already been purchased.
Yeah.
So,
how did I miss that?
where you can help me write something interesting for a character too.
You just looked in this direction. It was going to be either one of those three.
Right in the middle there. So,
Our Bitmasters over there.
Action Surge, welcome. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. There's the online store. We've got a lot of fun things coming up on the channel, but just not tomorrow night. Tomorrow night we usually have an episode of Neverland, but we are going to be dark with some surprise streams as we are going to Philly to watch an immersive interactive theater show, and we have hopefully we have permission to stream. We'll see and double check once we get there. But Saturday night we are dark here on the channel. On Sunday we have a D&D 101. I highly recommend that you come out and support newbie players who are trying to learn and are a little nervous. Please, it helps them so much to know that there are people cheering for them and rooting for them. and offering to buy subscriptions if they make the final kill. So thank you for the host, Action Scourge. So come and hang out with that on Sunday. On Monday, we have a joint episode where we're going to do Connections Collective and talk about that. But we also have some videos that Indigo Chameleon and I prepared of our trip to Evermore. So I thought a twofer episode of just like where in the world is Karma San Diego as we talk about some of our adventures that we've taken. Austin loves that joke. Tuesday night, Akabu's Bender. We love you too, man. We miss you. Already. Tuesday night, we go back to Wonder. Nothing interesting happened in Wonder this past week. It was a totally chill episode.
Wow.
It's the most boring game of D&D I've ever played in my whole life.
Except everything happened and the world is exploding and it's amazing. So,
29 days.
everybody,
29 days.
everybody heart T.E. Graves, who just subscribed for 2 months, and is also our artist of the month of October. T.E. Graves is an amazing artist, and we like to sponsor an artist here on the channel. So we want to thank T.E. Graves for all that she does, and you can visit her on her Instagram, which we highly recommend you do. And we're gonna get some copy pasta brewing for that. We're gonna get some a copy pasta brewing for that. But until then, go to Instagram and look at T.E. Graves Creations at Instagram, and you'll be able to find some of their amazing work on there. Tuesday, that's that. Wednesday, nothing going on here. I think we're good. Thursday night.
Oh, they're so cute. I'm sorry, I looked at the T.E. Graves Instagram
T.E.
and they're
Graves is
adorable.
really amazing. She's an
Oh my
amazing
God.
artist, so please be sure to visit. Thursday night, we haven't talked about, but stay prepped. There might be finally a return back to World of Warcraft.
Been working on my tape so much.
There is a small kitty in the room, so if you hear these little mews and stuff, it's right there. So the little kitty will be making noise.
She
Hopefully
just
no-
likes playing
Put
dice.
down here. Hey, Missy. come here.
All right, that's
I'm gonna
it
pass
for
it on.
announcements. Gang, once upon a time in Neverland, you know what happens. A group of adventurers managed to make a pact with a mermaid, and through this pact, this group of heroes make their way to a secluded pool in the middle of the Never Forest. This mermaid unfortunately turns on the group, and the group is forced to fight for their lives against her and the giant worm that she controls. The group composed of Thistle, Desbahai, Slowpoke, and Eris, and the very own Edwin Reynolds, a druid who is afraid of getting dirty or afraid of animals, all worked hard together to make sure that they could come out victorious.
Grand teamwork.
And it was great teamwork. Thank you, Moswell, for resubscribing too, buddy. However, there's a part of this story that we didn't see. And rarely as storytellers do we get a chance to flip the page and view parts of a story from a different angle. And that's what we're going to do this evening. So as this group of heroes made their way off into the forest, Clip and Cal, you decided to stay behind, in a very brave move to stay behind with this mermaid, who basically said, I'm going to stay right here, and she'll come back. And Cal said, great, I have a captive audience. Once upon a time, there was a devilishly handsome skeleton who was very skinny, and women would look right through him. And so, as
Piercing black eyes, bald head. It's great.
Cal, as you begin to tell this story, an odd wind blows in Neverland. It picks up out of nowhere. You're on the beach right now, and the sand begins to swirl. It's not uncommon for odd gusts of wind to come from nowhere, but as the two of you are standing there, Clip, I imagine you're not too far away. Both of you give me perception checks.
Cool. I'm great at that.
Let's start this off right.
Where's my green dice?
Receptionist 5 today. I'm too busy telling the story.
That's super cocked. Like I hit my other dice.
Okay, well, stop saying dirty words and roll again.
Gross. Anyway.
Hey, that's much better than me.
Well, you rolled a 2, so.
Hey.
This is perception.
Perception.
14.
Are you playing?
You're standing not too far away, and Cal is very in-depth with his story. He's gesticulating and sort of going wildly about, and as this odd wind picks up, the hairs on the back of your arm stand up. Cliff, you're somewhat attuned to the animals of Never, and there's something weird about this wind. And as this wind picks up even more, you all underneath this canopy of trees, a particular tree that's close by to where you all are begins to sway ever so gently in the breeze, and Cal pays no mind to it. It almost adds a sense of the dramatic to his story as Kate begins to...
And we swashed back and forth into the winds were howling.
As Cal begins to cut through the air with his sword and telling this story, Cal makes a wide gesture, and his bony arm happens to hit a tree behind him. As it does, a stray coconut falls out of the tree and hits a rock. And as it hits the rock in such a perfect angle, almost as if to fly upward and into the back of the head of this mermaid. She is knocked unconscious and falls face first into the ground.
We're just getting to the good part, too.
As she is knocked unconscious and fallen onto the ground, that's when you start hearing the screams.
Oh, God.
Oh, goody gumdrops.
From deep within the forest, you hear the panicked screams of someone in trouble. They're being very obvious about it. They're screaming out for help, and occasionally not only will you hear the cries of help, but you'll hear odd snarls as if some wild animal is tormenting them. What would you like to do?
You hear that animal? What do you think it is?
What do I think it is?
You know animals better than anybody.
Give me a nature check.
9.
You're not sure. You recognize animals before? It's got a guttural sound. It doesn't sound happy. How about that? I'll give you that with a 9.
I don't know. It's not happy, though.
Well, that and screaming means something's being chased.
Do we take this one?
Can you carry him?
Probably. Yes.
Cool. Let's go take a look-see. Let's bring Fish Lady
Taking
with us.
the mermaid with us.
Sure. The mermaid sort of hoisted onto your shoulders. You will be traveling at half speed because you are carrying her, so you are going to be moving a little slow through the forest, okay? As you get to a certain point within the forest, those sounds are getting louder and louder. These screams and cries for help. As you come around the crest in this small area close to the beach, you find a ship. This ship must have been carried here on one of the largest waves you've ever seen in your entire life. It's grown over with trees and various plants. Standing on the bow of this ship is a gentleman. What does this gentleman look like?
He's an Air Genasi. On the taller side, he's got light gray hair and kind of a grayish blue skin. And he's got nice clothes, but not pirate kind of nice, but at that kind of same level.
I swear to God,
Buttons,
this is never been there.
no, but it's mostly blacks and dark different shades.
Different shades. As you come around the corner and you see this person over on the deck of this ship that has been away from the water for far too long, not only does your group arrive there at a time, but 2 other groups do as well. There's another gentleman that sort of runs into the clearing and enters at about the same time that you do. What do they look like?
So there's a little bit more muscular than you'd expect for a teenager to be, but very dark-haired and tattered outerwear, but there's armor underneath it, and really obnoxiously crooked jaw.
I take it back. That one's Edwin.
Bit of a crook in the nose.
Perfect. And not only that, but there's a bit of a trifecta as the last group enters the clearing about the same time as well. What does this group look like?
Go ahead.
To you.
Oh, okay.
Ladies first.
Peg is a pixie. She's Chinese. She also has one leg. Her second leg is a peg. She looks rough and tough and Yeah. Piratey.
And tiny.
And tiny, and she has wings.
He looks green. Brown pants, matching boots. He's got hair like vines tied up in a ponytail. Like bright yellow eyes, no pupils. They're just yellow.
You are unable. You are able to see all of these different people as they enter into the clearing. It's a motley crew, to say the least. There's an odd moment where everyone sort of makes eye contact, and then all eyes are drawn upward to the deck of the ship. As that happens, Umbra, you are pushed to the bow and sort of fall backwards off as this creature that has been stalking you or attacking you finally makes its move, and you lose your footing and fall off.
Okay.
How do you make it to the ground safely? Do you just...
how far is it?
It's about 30 feet up.
Do I have time to cast Levitate while
Yeah.
I'm falling?
Yeah, you know what? Give me a straight up D20 and add your spell casting ability modifier to it. Just see if you have time to pull this off as you begin your descent.
14?
Yeah, that's enough. You almost do one of these where you're falling off and you're going to cast, and you fall, and as your back almost gets to the ground, you do one of those where you look up. As you look up, a being made of light jumps off the bow of this ship. I say being made of light because as you look at it, its features in the shaded afternoon sun begin to change. At 1 minute, it looks around the group, and one of the heads will turn and look this way, and the rest of the body will follow. It almost looks like a dog of sorts, but this creature has jumped off of the ship and is moving towards the man that you just saw fall and is floating in the air. As he falls and lands on the ground and you sort of right yourself, 2 other dogs come out of the clearing and start making a beeline for this man. Heroes, you have 1 round before you're going to get into combat. What would you like to do?
They look like dogs.
They look like dogs made of light that are just constantly sort of phasing in and out a little bit.
I speak dog, but I don't think they're actual dogs.
You can speak dog, and if you want to, you can try to use this turn to speak to them. They do not look like any dog that you've encountered, other than they have the slight shape of it.
Have I heard them bark at all, or any type of noise?
You hear this weird, you hear this, as you get closer, you hear the sound of the snarling. It sounds like something trying to imitate what a dog would sound like. Through a game of telephone, if I was like, a dog sounds like this. And then, like, somebody, how it got down the line, and it was this.
Oh, no.
Oh, goodness.
And it's not quite there.
And you said there's 3?
There's 3. There's one that jumped off the deck of the ship, and 2 more have now come out of the woods.
From different directions.
Different directions.
Gotta put down the mermaid that I'm holding
Okay.
and draw my axe
Boom. Axe is
and
drawn.
get in front of him.
Cal, what are you doing?
I'm putting the mermaid in the bag of resting.
Okay. The bag is open. You have your girl holding bag, and you drop the mermaid inside of it like a freaking Pokeball, and then you this is great, and then you just set up.
Yeah.
That's
I want
your
this mermaid
surprise
to
round.
wake up.
Umbra, what are you doing?
It's fine.
Do I see them?
Cool.
you
Bag
do see
magazine
them.
in there, so
Okay. I can cast a spell while levitating, and it won't drop as long as it's not a
As long as it's not
concentration.
concentration.
Okay, I'm gonna use Gust to push myself away from the ship, closer to them.
Okay. With this spell, you watch as Umbra begins to cast, and as he does, there's a push outward from him, and his feet go, still levitating off the ground, float backwards, and he joins the rest of the group.
So he's with us now.
He's with you now.
Okay.
Cool.
So I can get kind of in between him and them, or at least
Absolutely.
beside him.
If that's what you would like to do.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Because apparently we were all thinking the same thing. I'm gonna.
No.
Am I within 15 feet of them, or can I get within 15 feet of those 3 dog
Sure.
things?
You've got the 3 dogs.
6.
Peg is going to interpose herself, so she's 15 feet away from the dogs.
Are they within 15 feet of each other?
It's very important.
There's 10 feet between one dog in the middle, and then
Okay.
another 10 feet between the dog on the side and the one
I
in the
want
middle
to
again.
turn to catch 2 of them in a 15-foot.
Got it. Okay.
So that I can cast Thunder Wave.
Thunder Wave. Got
And at first level. And so they have to make a con save of 13.
it. Okay. They both make it.
Okay. Failed save. Oh, no. Okay. Successful. They half as much damage.
Okay.
Why don't I have more deals?
Edmund, what are you doing in this situation? Peg flies off of your shoulder and goes and stands in a particular area and interposes herself in between Umbra. There's a large woman holding an axe and a skeletal man standing behind her.
I'm gonna close the distance and I'm gonna stand next to Peg with my quarterstaff ready.
Okay.
Half of 11. 5 or 6. Alright.
Cool.
Is the ship secured or not?
What do you mean?
Was it more? Is it anchored?
Unsecured objects that are within
It is.
the area of
It is
effect.
on the land,
It's not
so it is over. I will say it is overgrown with enough vines
Okay,
and
got it.
plants that
Okay.
it is held in peace. But give
If
me a
there's-
percentile dice.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
What's your alignment?
The scariest question.
That would be
Accidentally
a 6.
A 6.
A 6.
I think as you blast this outward, the spectral forms of the dogs sort of bury themselves on the ground a little bit, but this thunder wave of force goes past them and into the ship, and a small crack appears in the back half of the ship.
Oh man, I'm gonna use that.
That is your move. That is Edmund's move. Birch.
How far out is Birch from the dogs and from where they're converging upon?
Birch, you are 15 feet away from the furthermost, the left dog, from where you came into the
Before they're getting to where they're likely to end up, so back far
Correct.
out.
If they have a move here, you have a feeling that this guy or anyone who's done anything to hurt them, they may be making a move towards, which right now appears to be this small 7 or 8 inches floating girl, this floating pixie.
Okay. So in that case, going to dash to where it seems like the dogs will end up converging,
Okay.
and just get there, get kind of the lay of where everyone's going to be ending up.
Okay. Yeah. You interpose yourself, so it goes Enwin, Peg, Birch. Behind them is Umbra, and to the side of Umbra is Clip and Cal. Everyone, please roll initiative for me. We're going to start this off the right way now. As you guys have set yourselves up, I am going to roll for my doggos. Okay. Got it. That's a
my
nice
total.
spread. Okay.
Ain't bad.
20 to 25.
20.
Oh,
Not
well,
nat.
all right, Peg.
Not that it matters.
20 to
Never mind.
15.
15.
16.
16. So, Cal, Doggo,
Okay. 15.
Clip.
Oh god. The dogs are going after the bones. Oh god.
Oh god!
Now they are.
Oh god.
Don't ever do that.
Idiot. 15 to 10.
Idiot. It was I who
15
played
to
myself.
10. Nope. Okay.
Oh no!
Another Doggo. 10 to 5.
9.
9.
What you got there, buddy?
Oh guys!
What you got there, buddies?
That is Umbra. Last Doggo.
Guy.
What do we get? 4
4.
and a 3.
You guys really want to come back and play Never again, don't you?
Birch and the Enwin.
We had one.
Peg, you are up first as these spectral dogs make their way towards you. There is this, like I said, they're all sort of snarling, and the head is just this swirling ball of light that's drifting in and out.
Okay. So let me. Okay. Shoot.
Come on, Peg.
I wish I'd rolled lower. Okay, I'm
Would you
gonna
like
use my
to
crossbow.
You're going to use your crossbow.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna be now.
Got it.
And I will fire at
Joel can play that.
one of the dogs that I already hit.
Okay, perfect. You take a shot at this crossbow. Is this crossbow magical?
It is not.
All right, give me an attack roll.
That was a nat one.
Nat 1.
Ooh.
Huh. Okay, perfect. I think that crossbow flies outward, And as it does, it sort of curves off to the side and hits another small portion of the ship. And a bit more of that ship cracks.
Oh no.
Oh, good. Okay, thanks.
That's your move, Peg.
Do you have mending?
Cal.
Yeah, no, I don't.
That was a mistake.
Cool.
Doggo is up next, Cal.
Doggo is up next. Cool.
You have me in front of you.
I do have you in front of you. I'm going to go slap one of the doggos. I guess the closest one to.
Just
You're just gonna slap him?
No, well, slap him with a sword.
Please specify in the game of Dungeons and Dragons, so I don't think you're gonna walk up and be like,
Open-handed.
unlimited magical power.
Pow!
No. No.
I swat one across the nose with a sword.
Don't spectral pee. Give me an attack roll, buddy.
Ooh, 10.
10 is not going to do it.
Cool.
You bring that sword down to hit it with like the flat side of it, and as you bring the sword down, the dog sort of shifts slightly to one direction. The sword misses, and the dog shifts back.
Cool.
Okay.
We're gonna inspire Clip.
You're going to inspire Clip.
We're
What
gonna
do
inspire
you do
Clip.
to inspire Clip?
Seeing that this is now in a panic, Clip, they're dogs pretending to be dogs. You're gonna want to take care of this.
Clip,
They're not
you
real.
feel inspired.
Dogs pretend. I feel
They're
more
pretend
confused.
dogs.
Dogs and pretend to be dogs. Our pets' heads are falling off. Like, yeah, so you are
You're
inspired.
inspired
It's
and
a
confused.
D6, right?
D6, yes.
Woo. I don't know how
Each of
inspiration
you, each of you, roll me a d6, please. That's Peg and Cal. I can't decide who they go after.
5.
5.
Inspiration.
5. Each of you roll again.
2.
3.
Cool. Give me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Sure.
Thank you, Fate Dice.
11.
11. This doggy is the greatest doggo.
Oh my gosh, he
He's
really
the best.
is.
He's the best doggo in the whole wide
He's
world.
so cute.
And you don't want to hurt this doggo.
No.
'Cause this doggo is best doggo.
He's great.
He deserves love and affection and all the bacon you have in your pockets.
Oh.
And
How many
ribcage.
bacon?
Cool.
Oh wait, I found some. Okay.
Cool. That is his turn. And he is going to go and stand right next to Peg.
Oh, right there, one bit.
Cool. Clip.
I would like to rage, please.
You are raging.
I would like to become bigger than I already am.
Okay.
And I'm in a. What's the one? I want the dog closest to me.
That is the one standing right next to Peg.
Cool. I'm gonna go that one. I'm going to attack it with
Okay.
my big axe with my reckless attack.
Yeah, she's hitting your friend.
Why are you hitting my friend?
You can say that on your.
Can I hit her?
Not yet.
That is a. Where is my stuff?
Another action.
Oh, yeah, that's a 20 to hit.
20 to hit. Hits. Is this a magical weapon or no?
No,
Okay.
it is not.
All right. Roll damage.
Cool. And as I hit them, I'm gonna let out like a wolf growl,
Okay.
and then say in dog submit.
Okay.
Pretty much, that's all you hear.
That's how that sounds.
10, 11,
Yeah.
12, 13 points
Here
of
for
damage.
it.
13. Give me an animal handling
Try some
check just
growling.
for fun, please.
Cool.
Come on, now's the time to use that inspiration.
Did not take
Skills. Hold on, let me, hold on. Animal handling?
Animals, okay.
I'm gonna use my inspiration for that as well.
Okay.
Oh,
14.
push your luck.
14.
You
Okay.
okay. Push your luck.
You
Audie?
No.
Nope. The other doggo is going to run forward, and seeing that this woman has just smacked into the doggo, is going to bite at Clip. Hey, Deacon Smith, welcome, dude. This attack's going to be at advantage. So that is a 16 to hit.
It hits.
Okay. That is going to be 8 points of damage.
That's half?
Piercing damage. Yeah. So yes.
So.
No, wait. Hang on. I'm sorry.
Yes, no, maybe.
8 points of piercing. That is halved. 1 point of radiant damage.
I can take half everything but psychic.
I don't think you take half of radiant. Double check that with
Yeah.
your bear, with the bear form. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the doggo's turn. Umbra.
What a fun.
I'm gonna, with levitation, I'm still until I stop, I'm still moving in the direction, right?
Yeah, you're just continuing
Okay.
to move backwards unless
Okay.
you do something to stop
Cool.
yourself.
How far are the 3 dogs?
From you at the
Yeah.
moment, 2 of them are within 15 feet of you. The
15
other
feet.
one is still 30 feet back.
Okay, I'm gonna let myself continue backwards, and I'm gonna use Chill Touch on the farthest one.
The furthest one away.
The
from
furthest
you.
one, yes.
Alright, give me an attack roll, please.
All
Or
right.
is it a saving throw?
It's an attack roll.
Okay.
So
12.
12. That does not hit.
Does not hit.
Yeah, just barely misses.
it says while raging, you have resistance to all damage except psychic damage.
Perfect. Then yeah, you still take 1 point because 1 is the lowest you can take.
Yeah.
So you take
5
1 point of radiant damage.
So we'll go. That's
Welcome
fine.
to the party, everyone.
Woo woo.
Pleasure you can join us.
Okay.
It's already.
Perfect. That's Umbra. Next is the other doggo who's going to make a beeline for Umbra.
Do I,
He's going to reach up and try to snag Umbra and drag him down to the ground.
is he passing me?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is he passing anybody?
Yeah,
Because
do we get
Umbra's now behind
opportunities?
all of us.
Umbra is behind you, but Umbra kept moving past you guys,
Okay.
and he made it sound like he was behind you and just kept moving backwards at an angle.
Never mind.
I imagine, you know what? I'll say this. You are behind Clip,
Yes.
so he doesn't run past you. He does run past you, Enwin, if you want to take an attack of opportunity.
I do.
You run past
As a
me?
matter of fact.
Oh, in front of you?
No.
I
You
can take
were up
one
with the first doggo,
Yeah.
second doggo on
Cool,
this
cool,
side.
cool.
Dog went back.
Cool.
Give me an attack roll, Enwin.
That is a 9.
That is gonna miss.
We can't
As
roll
Edwin
to
reaches out and is like, "Ha where'd he go?" And that doesn't happen. But unfortunately, as the dog reaches up to sort of drag you down, there is a momentary like, "Ow," and then it just doesn't seem to capture. Edwin, give me a perception check, please.
That's a 16.
Cool.
Okay, but what if my passive perception is higher than that?
That'd be amazing.
It's a 17.
Wow.
I'm just throwing it out there.
You're really
if that
passively
helps.
perceptive.
Birch.
Oh my.
I know.
Birch, my dear.
Yes, I'm sorry.
It is your turn.
Okay, so.
What a
Wow,
great
I'm
session of Dungeons and Dragons.
flabbergasted.
Love it.
I'm gonna try and get a feeling for what they are, the essence of them,
Are you doing
and
anything to?
using. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
And using divine sense.
Okay. Tell me about divine sense.
We have that
In
thing.
basically to find out if within 60 feet there's a celestial fiend, undead, anything that's kind of non of this peopled.
Okay. With divine sense, you are not able to tell the exact location. You were just sensing, I believe, like.
Are you wearing
The location, yeah, it says
You
you,
didn't put it on?
no
Never
location of
mind.
any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet.
Got
Uh,
one
okay.
undead over here. Hi, I'm undead.
Cool, but if it pings like more than once, maybe
Ping, 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 ping.
we'll find
You
out.
you detect a undead presence
Crazy how that works.
from the skeleton.
Weird.
Skeleton, where?
You detect a celestial presence from the doggos.
All three?
Celestial.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why they're doing radiant damage.
They don't speak dog. I'm out. I can't help here. Sorry.
Tagging out.
I can only speak doggos.
Is that an action to do that or a bonus action?
Action, sorry.
All right. So you have a bonus action and your movement left.
Yeah, I'm. Did anything manage to get? When I moved, did I move into their sphere? Or was, because they were still converging when I was still moving. So I'm wondering if when they converged, they ended up close.
There are 2 of them that are currently going.
Still moving.
There's one under Peg, the little fairy. There's one that's attacking Clip, and there's one that's made a beeline for the guy that's floating backwards behind the entire group.
Perfect, everyone's distracted.
Really serious question. Are you moonwalking as you go back?
In that case, I'm
Come on.
going to use
Style points,
the
come
rest
on. Come
of
on.
the turn to
Like a
back
slow.
away and watch them.
Okay.
And remove, not necessarily remove myself from combat, but to
You are choosing to do nothing.
put a distance right.
Okay.
Choosing to do nothing for the rest of the turn.
You are
Respect
abstaining.
lost.
Enwin.
I'm gonna turn to the one by Peg, and I'm gonna use Shillelagh.
Okay.
We're all hitting your dog.
Just got a notification you are the first druid to use Shillelagh, so congratulations.
That was a 14.
14 hits,
Okay, and that's 8 damage.
8 damage, okay?
It
This...
is imbued with magic, since you are asking everybody to consider a magic weapon.
I figured as much, but thank you, darling. The Shillelagh connects. It doesn't seem to pass through like some of the other attacks have, and as it does, it resonates at a higher frequency, and the celestial form of that particular doggo begins to lose form. I'm going to do this. It's the one next to Peg, right?
Mhm.
Wait a minute. Hang on. Like, something's weird. Like, this dog charmed you.
Hit him again.
Peg,
What?
It's your turn.
Me?
Yes.
I'm gonna hit him. Actually, I'm close enough to him. I'm gonna use shocking grasp.
Perfect. It's a cantrip, correct?
It is.
All right. What's the save on shocking grasp? Or is it an attack?
No, it's a +5 attack.
Give me an attack.
So that's an 18 + 5. That is a 23 hit.
That definitely hits. Roll damage.
Yeah.
Grab him by the nose and zap him right in the snout.
That is 6 points.
Yep, that is all you need as that particular doggo explodes in a burst of celestial light. As it does, the area around the ship gets just a little bit darker as the natural shade from the trees it provides like a sort of outcropping. Some of that light dies down a little bit.
And I'm gonna say, bad dog.
And it's gone.
I don't think she knows, but there's no dog.
Hal, your turn.
Ooh. I see. Okay, so her dog is gone.
Her dog
He's
is gone.
got a dog.
There's one dog attacking Clip. And there's a dog attacking the guy that was floating backwards.
Oh, Clip, you got this? Cool. He's gonna make a beeline to Grey Dude's
Okay,
dog.
okay.
Are you planning on doing something, or like just gonna keep gliding away?
He can't say anything on
Until his turn.
Until his turn.
That's fair.
Even her shaking her head was a little weird.
Oh, that's fair.
You got this? Cool.
I'm gonna send message then. You
Cool.
plan on doing
You
anything?
still can't.
Cool. That's your action.
That's fine.
So,
I assume that he's beyond 30 feet though from me. So.
if you want to run forward towards him,
You
How
can
far? How far is he from me?
Cast a spell.
he's 40 feet away from you.
Cool. I'm gonna use my movement speed 30 feet toward him, then use message. Be like,
I'll let you respond back this turn.
I can use my bonus action for him to respond. Need some help there, buddy?
Okay.
Excuse me if there's a microphone.
Oh, someone asked me to type louder. They couldn't hear me, so.
No, I'm fine, obviously.
Cool. Gonna turn around then.
Great. You doing anything with your bonus action?
Nope.
Great.
I can't do anything right now.
That is your turn, Cal. Clip.
Attack the thing that's attacking me.
All right. Give me another attack.
I'm gonna do this reckless again. That is a 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 to hit.
13 just hits.
Yeah, good, cool.
Let's destroy them.
Did it react to me speaking in doggy language?
You don't know.
It's 11 points damage.
Okay. Your attacks don't seem to be doing as much damage as they normally do. You don't know what it is. They're a little diminished at this point. Your weapons just aren't having the same oomph. You're still doing damage, but it doesn't seem like it's doing enough.
Well, I'm a barbarian, so there's not much left I can do besides hit things.
That's okay. That's fair. That's your turn.
Yep, that's it.
Doggo takes off into the ship.
Going
So
right, is it?
you get an attack of opportunity against it. It's going to run past Peg, so Peg, if you would like to take an attack of opportunity against it, and Edwin, you can take an attack of opportunity against it.
23 to hit.
You ran away, and then we're like, "Are you cool?" Cool, and then you ran back.
Yeah.
So yeah, 23 to hit. That
Yeah.
hits. Roll damage.
Well, I don't get anything because I
Yeah.
didn't run that.
That's 11
I used my
points
movement
damage
going
again.
to this guy.
Cool.
20 not nat to hit. It's
20 not
another
nat.
shocking
Kinda
grasp.
helps out.
And
You have Warcaster as her. Are you able
No.
to? Then you need to make a melee attack for an attack of opportunity. Warcaster allows you to cast spells for an
that's
opportunity.
right. I totally forgot. Sorry.
That's all right.
So instead it's my diary.
14?
14 hits
12 damage.
with a shillelagh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, it was my. Do I need to do a separate to hit, or does that and I
Sounds
just
good.
need to do a melee weapon? Did you want me to re-roll the 20?
What did you get on the 20?
Originally it was a 20. The second time I rolled, like I didn't know if I needed to re-roll.
No,
it
that's
was a
fine.
9 plus.
Between you and Edwin, this thing dissipates in a
Okay.
cloud as it goes running, scampering back towards the ship. It disappears. That is its turn. Umbra, dog in front of you.
Okay, how high up am I?
You are not that high up. You're about 5 feet off the ground.
Okay, with levitation, I can move up and down as part of my moves, so that's movement, right?
Sure.
So I'll go up 20 feet. and
As you
then-
go, I think this thing is going to get an attack of opportunity as long as you move out of the sphere that it's in.
Mm,
Man, you really want some help now, don't you?
never mind, I'm just gonna use chill touch again.
Okay, give me an attack roll, please.
That's 10 plus 5, 15?
That's going to hit. Roll damage.
Alright. That's gonna be a 6.
Last doggo explodes. In bits of glitter and celestial burst. The clearing gets a little darker, and that doggo explodes. You are in this clearing. You are out of combat.
Going back to clip.
We're gonna go down.
Sure.
So that was a party.
When they exploded, did they leave anything behind, or did it all dissipate entirely?
Give me an investigation check.
Sure.
You have to look at the area that they left.
6.
No. You start looking over the spots where the doggos were, examining the spots where they once were, and you don't find any sort of residue or trace residue or anything like that.
I'm gonna go in the back. I'm going in the bag and see if the mer person has woken up yet, or.
She has not woken up. She's conveniently still asleep, and probably will be for the next hour, 10 minutes.
Nice, cool.
Nice, cool.
Put her on the couch. Give her a Mad Magazine. Call it a day.
Cool.
Gone.
Yeah, done.
Well, you guys were helpful.
Well, I tried to be.
I mean, I asked.
Well, I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Who are you?
The name's Umbra.
That's your name. Who are you?
Does that not answer the question?
Why were they attacking you?
That's a good question. I'm not quite sure. Probably didn't like where I was headed.
Where are we heading?
To find some stuff out.
Ooh, finding stuff. Yeah.
You a pirate?
No. Are you?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Easy.
Why is that interesting?
Peg, give me a perception check. Roll easy.
Really?
That's a 7.
Minute you say, yeah, I'm a pirate, so what? The tallest woman you've ever seen in your entire life begins to growl softly.
That's just how she says hello.
Hello.
So what are you all up to?
Well, we heard some screaming and we thought we'd come find out.
Apparently saving your butt.
Or that.
I meant before that.
I just came out of a dungeon.
What were we doing?
I mean, that's my most recent thing. I was telling this great story. You want to hear it?
Not
Too bad.
particularly.
So, there once was this pirate.
The latter half of the ship, the one hit by the thunder wave and the one hit by the little stray arrows.
You're welcome.
Seem to have been just the straw to break the camel's back. As that ship falls, that part of the ship, the back half of it, sort of falls off.
So are we 2 for 2 on breaking your ships?
No.
I want one
You're
thing.
not.
And
Didn't
that
we
is
explode a ship?
I want one thing, and that's to find a full ship one day.
All right.
Not that
Because
one.
this back half of the ship falls, Peg, you recognize this ship. So you are still 0-1.
Oh.
This ship half falls. And as it does, there is a large sort of, you can look into the ship. It's almost like it's been bisected. And as it's been bisected, it's unnaturally dark inside the ship portion that you can see.
Well,
Ooh.
the dogs seem to want to do
Do we
something.
see
I'm
that
gonna
one?
fly towards it, and I'm going to cast
Yes.
dancing lights.
There is a person, looks like to be an older boy that's sort of standing off to the side. He's wearing
Okay.
tattered clothing, and he is wearing armor, but he's been conspicuously quiet and just sort of observing the situation that's been happening.
He's gonna try and walk over to that ship and see if it was actually reclaimed by the land.
You can go and look.
I'd like to.
Give me a...
Nature?
No. Based on your background, give me a d20 and add your wisdom.
19.
This ship is unclaimed. Not only is this ship unclaimed, it is
17.
17. Okay.
I was looking at the wrong section.
This ship is other.
Okay.
Name.
Me too.
Oh, do we want to talk about names?
Oh my god.
I think I've already given mine.
Not
That's true.
Name.
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 Honey, her axe is bigger than your entire body. I wouldn't smart off like that.
Name.
She asked you. You're not asking me.
Oh, this is a fun game.
Have fun. I'll be here.
He's a smart one.
Is this what you guys have been doing this whole time?
Mostly. She gets angry and I just make sure she's alright.
I love this buddy cat. It's great.
The skeleton looks the happiest you've ever seen a skeleton look before. As she's just sort of watching this situation unfold.
Clip kind of rolls her eyes and walks toward the ship.
Cool. Clip, what's the last animal language you spoke?
The last animal language I spoke was bear.
Prior to dog?
Prior to dog?
Prior to dog, it was.
No, so dog is the last one.
Oh, the last one I spoke outwardly? Yeah, the last one I learned. But,
Cool.
yeah, dog.
You hear the sound of someone calling you from inside the ship. It speaks in dog, but it yells for mama.
God damn it, I'm going through the ship!
Clip is slowly walking towards the ship and then gets to a certain spot where she just goes, nope, and just runs, beelines for the ship.
Clip. Clip, don't leave me out here, strangers.
Have fun.
I'm following this one.
Cal goes in, Cal follows Clip.
You said I recognized the ship?
It's yours.
It's my ship.
Well, you destroyed it,
It's the same ship that I just...
you think.
When he called my name, I would have yelled back, pup, and it kept going.
I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna follow anyway.
I'm making a beeline for the ship. I already cast dancing lights to be able to see in it.
Alright.
It's my ship!
That catches an attention.
All right.
Congratulations.
We're gonna hold that tool for later.
Thank you.
That's a surprise mouse.
Umber, where are you going?
If they're all going, I'm following.
Yeah. Birch.
During the last use of Divine Sense, was I within 60 feet of the ship as well?
You weren't.
Did I feel anything in there?
You did not.
Weird. Let's go check it out.
Okay. Walking into the ship. The ship seems somewhat pristine when it comes to something that you found discarded in the middle of a forest, away from water. Plants and things like that seem to have been growing along the outside, but there is no living thing inside of the ship proper. There are no plants, there are no creatures, there are no insects. From what you see, there is not even a lot of dust collected in this ship.
Okay, the last time I saw the ship, it was pretty much in splinters.
It was.
Is there any way for me to tell if this is like definitely the same ship or if this is like a reproduction of the ship or...
You tell me. Peg, you feel like you found a ship that once belonged to you. How would Peg go about checking to see if this was the same ship?
I want to look at the planks and stuff and look like and see if it looks like something that was magically like reassembled or if it looks like it never blew up into splinters.
You know that magic is very powerful, and that the mending spell's entire purpose is to put together things that are broken. The pixie breaks away from you. I think at this point you're still looking around for Doggo.
Yeah, I'm going full feral, all fours, trying to find this.
Yeah. Peg, give me an investigation check at advantage based on where you're from.
You want to tell me what's going on? No, that's fine.
At this point, I'd respond
7.
in dog. He wouldn't understand me.
It's really hard to tell.
Okay.
Your radar is going on.
Okay.
As you're walking in the ship, and I will say you get to a spot where the stairs lead up to like the deck of the ship, as you're below deck right now, who takes the first step on the stairs? Clip. As you take the first step on the stairs, the temperature changes. Immediately, without warning, very quickly, the temperature drops.
For everyone or just her?
Just her. But the minute it does, you sense it.
Cold. I'm gonna take that backwards.
Okay?
Does the temperature change or still cold?
You're still back in the sort of humid forest air of Neverland, close to the beach and the coastal waters.
What you got there?
Step cold.
I'm going.
Okay.
Cal's taking stuff on it, yeah.
Umbra gets about 3 steps up. 1, 2, 3, and he's gone. He doesn't hit the 4th step, he doesn't hit the 5th step. Like, Umbra is just not there anymore. What once was a person that you've been talking to, Cal, do you keep walking?
Yep.
Cal, 1, 2, 3, 4th step, gone.
Again.
I love ships.
1,
What are they doing?
Do I feel the
I
temperature
turn around and
change?
look at them first.
yeah, I'll talk with you guys in just a second. I
Okay.
might have to have these guys leave the room based on what.
They're going up the stairs. Is there another way to the upper deck? Because I'm guessing we went in on the lower deck, like,
You could leave the room.
because I can fly.
You could fly. You could leave back the way you came in the ship and fly up to the deck of the ship.
You can fly, you can fly.
So,
Yeah, Cal's cub.
sorry. I want to fly up and around and look down the stairs where they, you know how they were going up?
Yeah.
I want to fly up and around to the upper deck and then look down from the
Sure.
upper deck.
You get
but
to
not
the
go up
upper
stairs.
deck and you sort of pry open the doors and you see Enwin, you see Clip, you see Birch, sort of looking back at you from the ship.
The beach.
Enwin sort of looks, gives you a little wave.
Okay.
Still
Found
here.
you.
Is this baby Enlin?
So I'm on the upper deck. They
Ceiling in.
Oh, no. They're disappeared. I'm seeing the people who didn't go up the stairs yet.
Yeah.
From the upper deck. Okay.
I'm gonna wait a couple seconds. If Cal didn't come back, I go.
What do I see happen when she does that?
She's
I'm
walking on
looking
the
down the
steps.
stairs.
1, 2, 3. You're a pirate.
Yeah.
Yar.
You're out on the water, and it gets real hot. And you've been out at sea for a long time. And you can't tell if this haze in the mist is land or a different ship. And there's always this pregnant pause. There's this that everybody takes when you don't know if this is sudden salvation or if this is ultimate demise. And as Clip goes running up the stairs, there's and it's almost like a shimmering. It's a quick haze, and she's gone.
Okay. I've now seen 3 people go through this same exact spot.
Yes.
And they've disappeared in the exact same spot, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I want to do is go back around and I'm going to fire one of my arrows or crossbow arrows into that spot and see if the crossbow arrow disappears.
Okay.
But I'm going to fire it low because if they're right on the other side, I don't want to actually shoot them.
It's easy. It does not.
It does not disappear.
Edwin, what are you doing? You're just staying here while she's here?
She shoots the crossbow and I go, come on, it'll be fun.
Gone. Birch.
I like this guy.
Who is this?
All right, Birch, we'll get back to you in a second as
Right.
you start to explore the perimeter.
Real quick though.
That's a hook, just
When Dancing Lights was cast, did it fill all the corners where that weird darkness was?
No, it did not.
So there's still darkness remaining.
Yes.
Okay. No. Need to check out
Yeah.
what's going on. With
As you
the
begin to search
exterior.
around the area, I will give you a little bit of time before you find what you believe to be the source of this disruption. You all make your way up these stairs, and as you do, you enter onto the deck of this ship. You're somewhere else. It's cold. It's real cold. Almost like nighttime, December, cold. And which is odd because it was daytime. For Cal and Clip, for you two, it's not that big of a jump because you've experienced something like this, some sort of time dilation.
Oh, crazy.
However, if you turn back and look at the water, expecting to see the same thing you saw before. It's nothing but dead ships.
Oof.
There's wood everywhere. The trees in the area all seem to be in this constant state of like birth and decay. And birth and decay. Almost reflecting that of waves coming in.
Don't like
Okay.
that.
Does this spark anything in Cal's head at all?
It doesn't spark joy.
Roll a d20.
17?
Your coin begins to hum a little.
Of course it does. You haven't let me down yet. Set you on the side.
The minute you flip it,
Oh
the feeling's
no.
gone. The coin just wanted you to flip it. It doesn't even want you to look at what it was.
Okay.
Okay, guys. You're standing on the deck of the ship. There is no sun in the sky. There are no stars in the sky. Think of an inky black twilight.
Yikes.
The trees, like I said, are in a form of birth and decay. The ship itself is in 1,000 pieces. The only piece standing is the deck of the ship, which seems to be floating in the air.
Oh god.
But the rest of the ship looks like it was torn apart by a giant tidal wave.
I'm gonna go to the edge of the ship and see if there are trails of any type of wildlife at all.
Okay. Give me a nature check.
15?
You make your way down to the ground.
Oh, okay, I'm on the ground.
Uh,
I was
sorry.
just looking over, but I'm on the ground.
Sure,
It's cool.
no, let's do that instead. I'll live your truth.
Okay.
You crawl to the edge of the ship, you see what looks to be dark shrubbery, and bits of flowers that you've never seen before in your entire life. They
Okay.
seem to take on an ethereal presence. You do not see any sort of animal movement at this time. All of the plant life here looks foreign and alien to you.
I'm gonna cut my lips and howl.
Okay.
That's a good one, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
No response?
No response.
Okay. I will turn back to you guys then. No life.
What do I gather from this? Is this what I was looking for, kind of?
You don't know what this is.
Okay.
You know that this was one of the ground zero.
Mm.
You don't know what you were looking for.
Gotcha.
But in your wildest imaginations, you don't know what this is.
Just for DM notes, you put the coin under the phone. We still have not looked at it yet, but it is under the phone.
You can look at it, it doesn't matter.
Okay, cool.
Oh, cool.
The coin wanted to be flipped for the simple act of flipping, as if it was trying to tell you something.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks, buddy.
Let's cut back to Birch.
We don't know what it is.
Gonna walk the exterior of what I can see,
Sure.
and if there are like small vines or trees that I might be able to like get up and maybe see open over. That
Yeah, give me either an athletics check as you try to climb a tree to sort of get a bird's eye view of the ship.
10.
You get about midway up. It's hard. You're trying to place yourself, but you're also wearing heavy armor and you're carrying weapons. As you get about halfway up, you're like, this was
Silly.
poor conceived. And so, but you do manage to look down at the ship. The ship looks perfectly intact, except for the second half being
Broken.
bisected,
Just look-
dissected and stuff like that, with all the plants and leaves and stuff growing on it.
Does
You-
it look like an actual cut, or is it just kind of the splintered?
Just splinters
Okay.
and sort of breaking off.
And the vines are going up and over it, and nothing.
Nothing seems to have entered inside the ship from your viewpoint. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Oof a doof.
13.
13. You have about 2 more rounds of combat before your particular oath forces you inside the ship. So you have about 12 more seconds to explore.
I'm gonna dig under into the sand as deep as I can for those 10 and then scoot.
Okay, give me percentile dice, please.
77.
As your fingers begin to scrape into the ground before you know you have to go in because this is a foreign object and you are the white blood cell sent to cleanse it.
Yeah.
Your hands touch a liquid of some sort, and as you pull it away, I need you to give me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Well then.
I mean, that shouldn't be too bad.
Did Magnoth convince you that's a dump sack?
Nope. I tried.
You're a paladin. That shouldn't be too bad.
Oh, honey.
Okay.
Oh, no.
You bring your hands back, and there is a thank you, Kraken Blade, and appreciate the raid.
Thank you for
You take 5 points of damage as this odd dark liquid begins to crawl up your hands. But due to your nature, you are able to sort of shake off the liquid from your hands, but not before it begins to course into your being.
How does it feel?
Bad.
Acid, burning, ache, hurt.
Paintings.
Do my fifis hurt? My feelings. Do they,
Your one feeling.
they ache?
More so than any of these feelings, the thing that fills you with dread the most is you're a little tired.
Oh no.
No,
I'm gonna-
thank you.
Oh God. How fast can I
We
get
don't
in
like
there?
sleep effects in this household.
You could run.
I
take
gotta
off.
go.
Yeah.
I'm running.
Yeah. Okay. You take off running. Back on the deck of this sort of ship that's floating in the middle of the ether.
Does anybody have a jacket? Sort of cold.
Fresh
I
out,
don't-
man.
I
Sorry.
take off my fur and put it on.
Oh,
you know.
thank you.
I'm immune to cold climates as a
Yeah,
Goliath.
no shirt. Cold. What's up? We're making friends.
Congrats on your bear fur jacket.
Thanks. I like that one. He's cool.
I'll
Small
go
one,
sit
I'm
on
not
your
sure about.
shoulder and try to just get a little bit of the warmth from the jacket you just put on.
Right over.
Familiar? No?
No.
Yes? No?
No.
No.
This was buzzing for some reason, but I'm not sure why.
All right, so we have ship, we have dying trees,
What's that?
weird plants that we've never seen before.
Sure.
Outside the ship,
What?
the ship is just a surface,
Yeah, it's a floating deck. Like
floating
it's not,
deck.
It's not
Everything
connected
below
to
is
anything.
pretty much disintegrated, just floating deck.
Splinters, stuff like that. You could go digging through it if you wanted to.
All right. Below it, if I fly around off the deck and look down, are there splinters? Are they like hovering in the air, almost like in like suspended animation, or is it just that there's lots of splinters on the ground?
You fly off the deck of the ship, and as you turn around and look, there seems to be almost like a jellyfish-like creature affixed to the bottom of the deck that you are on. Nobody saw it because you flew under and sort of looked up, but it seems to be this like transparent creature that's just sort of like taking up the deck and sort of hanging out there, suctioned onto it.
I cast message at Enwin
Okay.
and let him know what I see.
Okay.
And
I can talk to jellyfish. Just give me 10 minutes.
well, I don't know that because you were very rude to me.
It was rude. You guys asked for your name. And he was not good at communicating with people.
And then you growled.
You did
Which
say
is
you were
true.
rude.
You did
Too
growl.
beef.
To be fair.
Okay, I'll fly back over and tell everybody there is a giant jellyfish underneath this deck.
What side of the ship are we on? Are
Interesting.
we on the bow side of the ship or are we on the stern side of the
I'm
ship?
gonna go
You
see
have
it.
no idea. There is a deck.
Yeah.
You are standing on top of it.
On deck.
There is nothing else connected to this floating plank of wood.
How far is
Okay,
the
I
drive to
understood.
the ground? Is it not far?
20 feet.
20 feet? Can I jump down without hurting myself?
You can give me an athletics check.
I will
Certainly
do
can.
that. I will do that. Athletics, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, I only have a -1. 8.
Yeah, for some reason you are absolutely fine. You
Cool.
managed to get down and you're looking up, and sure enough, there is a jellyfish.
What color?
At the moment, transparent.
Interesting. I'll go investigate it. I'm not gonna touch it, but I'm gonna get as close as I can.
I don't think you understand the mode of transportation. I never is
Cool.
for me.
Peg, you're up there talking with Enwin. Everybody else is standing up on the board. As you guys are standing on the deck, coming running in is Birch, who is running so fast that she traverses the step and runs into 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see.
Hit me. Do it.
So, Enwin. Enwin, give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh,
4.
Sorry for your
4. Enwin, you are knocked by a running birch who knocks into you, and you sort of fall off the deck of this thing, and falling towards the ground. You've got about a 20-foot fall. You want to give me an acrobatics to mitigate this? Athletics?
We'll do acrobatics.
Can I make an athletics check to try to reach out and grab him?
Yes, I will grant you one as well.
15.
18.
18. Yeah. You try to like slow yourself down, and Birch goes, "My bad," and stops you. She anti-yeets and like grabs you and like and
call it a tip.
yoink. You yeet, she yoinks.
Mystical yoink.
Mystical yoink.
Reverse yeet, we call it a teep.
You were saying, give me an investigation check.
All right.
You don't see the other guy.
17.
Hand up. You're just sort of like examining, and as you do, it begins to detach from the deck of the ship, like and slide away from your gaze, your touch.
I would like to jump off because I heard jellyfish and that interests me.
Okay, jump off.
Yeah.
Go.
I just want to crawl over to the edge and look down over it.
Yeah, I'm going to where she's
At this
jumping. I'm like,
jellyfish.
Okay.
Once they all know, I'm flying back under because I want to see what's going on with this jellyfish, and I have an idea. But go
Sure,
ahead
you guys
with your thing
see.
first.
You see Umbra, who's underneath, and he's reaching a hand up, and this thing is sort of slowly shifting away. And as Enwin pokes his hand under it, what are you looking at? It's unfolding from the deck closer to where Enwin's face is. Like,
Just gonna stand up and go, okay.
This is my life now.
We're gonna make a new friend.
don't like jellyfish, man.
Not that close.
Ah,
Is there something the jellyfish was like hiding or no?
are you looking at the spot that it was like that it's uncovered?
I'm gonna look at it. Yeah.
Yeah. And you look over at the ship, and it looks like to be just a portion of wood. It doesn't look like it's been touched by time at all, but as the jellyfish begins to unfurl from it, that little bit of like pristine wood begins to age and decay real fast. And as the jellyfish pulls away, like that wood cracks and turns black and turns into almost the pieces of driftwood that you see scattered about the
And-
ship.
Does that mean the deck below
So-
everyone is disintegrating right now?
It does mean that.
I'm gonna cast Gust to push the jellyfish back to where it was.
Okay.
I'm gonna look up at Cal and say, jump!
If you need a saving.
Wasn't
throw,
talking to me, but I'm jumping
strength
anyway.
13.
Oh, are you actually jumping?
Yeah.
Firebolt leaves Umbra's hand, and as it does, it strikes into the jellyfish. This firebolt ignites the jellyfish and the surrounding wood around the deck of the ship.
oh Jesus!
Oh no!
I'm so glad I jumped.
The jellyfish will make a dex.
Can you
Alright.
believe
Wait,
that?
What's
it was
the-
wind or it was firebolt?
You
I
don't
thought you
know.
said wind.
You don't know.
It's crazy how
You
dexterity.
Umbra cast Gust. As the jellyfish unfolds itself away from the deck of the ship, it's going to make a bolt towards Cal. Cal, give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh jeez. Okay.
How can I do
As you
anything?
jump down to see Clip.
No, he jumped down.
He said he followed.
I follow. Yeah.
She said jump, and I jumped first.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's fair.
I'll still take it. I'll still take it. It's fine.
Just throwing it out there.
Dexterity save.
Yes.
Come on,
I
Bones.
can
Don't fail me
catch
now.
both of them. You're only like what, 15?
That's not one.
Cool. This jellyfish
Enjoy your death.
unfolds itself from the wood, and you guys feel the wood. Whoever is standing on the deck of this thing feels it cracking underneath their feet as it is now on fire and burning as well. As this jellyfish unfolds and wraps around Cal, like it just sort of like, and like it wraps around him like a hug. It almost looks like he's being wrapped up in a clear cellophane, like a.
Good thing I don't have to breathe.
He's
That is a good
uncomfortable, but not looking like he's in any sort of.
Someone get the jellyfish off me.
So he cast Gust and a firebolt.
Right.
Trying not to think
Right.
of that.
That's
Well,
the thing. He's doing this. She's
I
gonna
would
run
recognize
up.
that because I also have gust.
You would recognize.
I would
that.
recognize the
Yeah.
casting.
Actually, give me an
and
Arcana check. In the heat of the moment.
a
Gust,
nine.
as in gust of
Nope.
wind.
Nope.
Because I have the same thing.
Give
I'm
me
trying
an
to
Arcana
use the
check.
same
It's the-
thing.
it's the
Oh, it's not
arcane, or
gust.
it's the
Oh, I
cantrip.
have gust of wind. Never mind. It's
No.
a different spell.
You know this.
So I'm the only one still standing on the fiery,
Well,
crackling.
I know that
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
a
yeah.
If
different.
this thing wraps
Do I
around
have-
him, I'm gonna go over and do another shocking grasp.
Okay.
I know it's probably not gonna turn out how I imagine it to, but that's what
You're
I
putting
would do.
electricity into a
Yeah, that's
jellyfish.
what I do.
Nice.
I know. Well, because that would stop.
Not
Supercharged.
Not like that.
Supercharged jellyfish.
Okay,
Oh,
that
God.
was only a 9. So
As the ground beneath you begins to quake a little bit, sending tremors up your body. Roll damage.
2.
The ground itself begins to like swallow you a little bit and almost pelt against the jellyfish with these little bursts of like the ground, like throwing dirt and rocks and things of that sort, almost like you're being swallowed up by the ground.
Oh God!
The jellyfish will then detach itself, fly away, and head into the undulating forest.
Oh man.
At this point, yes, you are standing aboard a flaming deck.
What's the background? Can we call? Yeah, we call it a flaming ship instead.
No. But if you would like to DM, you can call it a flaming ship.
I just wanted to make a shipping joke, but you know. Sorry.
I'm the bard.
So the height of the deck down to the sand. How?
20 feet.
You've got this.
So, what does the swan dive yeet look like? Because no, I'm gonna have to make.
Terrible.
I'm gonna have to make
Yeah, like
some
don't
kind
just like run
of
and just.
3-point stance, kind of cool guy
Give me a superhero landing.
jump. Yeah.
Athletics.
Yeah. There's no pip on this dice. There's no pip. I need.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
There's DVD references.
Oh, that's.
25.
25. Yep. You 3-point hero landing to the ground.
Nice.
And then kind of move away from. The temperature before I jumped off, was it still cold next to the fire?
No, it was actually warm next to the fire.
Warm, like it's a chilly night, but there's a nice fire to stand by, or it's
No, more like
changed.
warm, like it's a chilly night, but my ground is on fire.
Oh God.
Well, you're particularly on fire.
Understood.
Those are too much different.
Very different. So I'm gonna move away
This is
from
a nice
that.
little fire. So like the ground is on, everything's on fire.
The,
Like,
the floor is lava.
your feet felt warm.
No, the floor is not
Fantastic.
Been
lava.
there.
So after I've jumped down and the amount of like yeet that I made, how has the temperature changed since then?
No, it is still very cold where you all are.
So there's no radiant heat coming off of how far it was that I made it away?
Correct.
Okay.
In calculations with the yeet that was made.
Slowly putting anyone down.
Thank you.
Jellyfish, that was fun. Let's not do that again.
I'm
I
kind
don't
of
know.
feeling like we're gonna have to.
that
nope.
jellyfish was saving what was left of my ship that is now utterly destroyed.
Your ship.
Your ship?
That was
Our
my
way
ship.
back.
That was your
I
ship.
mean, my ship was destroyed. I guess it wasn't
That's a good
completely
point.
destroyed, but now it's completely destroyed.
Yeah, it's gone.
It was my ship.
It was. You are right. It was.
Exit gone.
Yeah, that's just what I said.
So is this stuff still
Pat
climbing
your
up
head.
there?
You
If
don't
you're
have to
good,
shake
if
it
you're a
off.
good kid,
All
you'll
of
feel
it.
buried.
Okay.
I'm gonna
I do
look
Calamari.
towards an an opening where I'm not gonna hit anything important,
Okay.
and cast gust again.
Okay.
Is it gust?
No, a firebolt leaves your hand.
Oh God.
I cast
This is
precipitation.
interesting.
What does it hit?
Hmm?
What does it hit?
Some of the floating bits of wood off to the side. The wood is now floating in the air and sort of slowly revolving as it is on fire. After
What?
the second casting, you realize that he's casting gust, but it's coming out as
Why'd you do that?
Because that's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, my spell went wrong too.
I cast prestidigitation.
what effect?
Oh no.
We're gonna do the opposite. If they're doing gust that turns into fire, he's gonna do sparks and see what they turn into.
Okay. Little motes of darkness fly forth from your fingertips.
Nice.
I'm gonna unroll my bedroll and
Go.
chase down the floating bits of fire that you decided to unleash into the atmosphere, and put them out.
Okay. Your bedroll is done,
That's fine.
but the bits of fire have been put out by the firebolt.
I'm gonna glare.
Well, it looks like we've got to figure
Good.
this out.
Perception
Act
check.
my act. My non-magical act.
God, these are terrible rolls tonight.
You got a 19.
I got a 19.
Well, no.
No, I know.
earlier.
I know. I
There's no water around here, right?
Oh,
Wait.
part
Would you like to look for some?
No, I want to cast shape water.
know.
On
Thank you.
2 of my little darkness bolts.
I'm gonna look for animal tracks now that we're on the floor.
3. Great.
So I knew that this place was a ground zero, or I suspected.
You were pushed.
Pushed there, okay. But do I know that that's what this is, or?
You have no idea.
Who are you?
Watch. I'm gonna cast Shillelagh.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
So just-
I hide behind Clip.
Okay.
Okay.
You're holding a stick in your hand.
Me too, man. Me too.
Okay.
Never mind. That's exciting.
Maybe this
Then what
isn't.
if I cast sword burst?
Maybe we shouldn't
I
be
get
messing
spinning
around with
swords.
magic when it's not going our way.
Spectral blades.
Mine worked.
Spin where?
Around me. They spin around me.
No, they do not. They spin away from you, sort of falling out from you. It's almost like a sword burst that like spins outward, out into the ether and continues to go.
It's a Beyblade. Nice.
That's not normal.
Magical. As he goes, that's not normal. Arcane energy is traveling up and down Enwin's arm.
That's not normal. I don't hate it, but here we are.
So,
Do I feel fine
All right. Can anybody
as a
talk?
non-magical person?
Can anybody talk to the plants around here? Can you do that?
No. You can talk to me.
Okay.
We're just talking to a plant.
Hang on a minute. You're a plant person.
You're right.
You can't
You're also a
talk to
druid.
plants.
Correct.
And you
Hey,
can't talk to these plants?
she can talk to plants.
I mean, I can talk to
Doing
them.
it right now.
Like, they can't talk back.
I can talk to plants.
They're sort of dying constantly, and
Yeah,
I don't
you-
want to get near that.
I can talk to a plant.
You can talk to plants?
I don't think
Plants
anyone
will
knows
talk
what
back,
they
so I can
can't
talk
do
plants.
right now.
That's also true.
So
I like his answer better. We're going with that.
I'm gonna take the opportunity while they're infighting to try and lay on hands and get rid of that 5 damage.
Okay.
This should be fun.
How many points are you healing for?
5.
You take 5 points of necrotic damage.
Oh.
Yikes.
Okay, can I cast message at one of those plants that's like dying around here? Can I try and see what happens? I guess message at one of the plants and I'm like, hey, what's going on here? Where are we?
Okay.
You just cast message on a plant.
Cast something like that.
Nothing happened? Oh, well.
Did I find any footprints, anything like that?
Give me a survival check.
I just don't. I'm so stuck on
Or
what to do.
perception. Either one.
Which one do I have better in? Skill.
Which one
Is
you
it
looking for?
perception or survival?
No.
It's a 13.
13.
Yeah.
You begin to look around the area. You're looking for any sort of tracks that lead outward, and as you do, you get over to a small, worn path that seems like it's been crossed just over many, many times. And as you
Okay.
get over to this small path, laying down in the path, covered by some of the driftwood, is a body. The body is that of an older male. He's laying down, his eyes are face up, and he's looking at the sky.
I walk over.
Is he? Oh, go ahead.
You don't see
No.
it. It's just me.
Well, I'm obviously watching you.
Probably. I'm gonna walk over and is he dead? Is he
Medicine check?
alive?
You guys watch as Clip sort of leans over and starts looking at this.
That's a wasted nat 20, but it's a nat 20.
He's alive.
He's alive?
He's alive. He's completely catatonic. He's staring up at the sky.
I'm gonna get the driftwood off him. I'm gonna get everything off him.
Okay, driftwood is pushed off of him. He's wearing regular looking clothing. Give me percentile dice.
Percentile?
I was hoping he was dead. I can talk to dead people.
You think you can talk to people?
I know I can talk to dead people.
76?
For now.
I hope.
It looks vaguely familiar, but you don't know why.
Vaguely familiar, but I don't know why. I'm gonna like try to shake him a bit, try to shake him out of it. No movement, nothing. I pick him up and I walk back toward the group.
Clip comes back carrying a body.
What you got there?
Oh, alive,
Alive?
not moving.
Are you sure about that?
Around that, yes.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's not moving. I mean, she seems to be
Uh,
right about that.
As he goes, are you sure about that? The eyes blink a few times, and he gets this feral look in his eyes. He's going to make an attack against you. He's going to run forward. That's
While he's in my arms?
He's going to break away. So if you're going to grapple him and hold him tight,
Yeah,
that's fine.
hold him.
Give me contested strength checks. So this is an athletics check as you go to grapple him and hold him still. Athletics, you are not raging.
18.
Okay. Yeah, he goes and lunges forward, and as he does, there is a as the teeth begin to like sort of run forward a little bit, and not elongate, but they're blackened. It's almost like when somebody puts like charcoal in their mouth, and now that his teeth are open and his eyes look normal, but he has nothing but eyes for Umbra as he just.
Charm person.
Okay.
The darkness, is that, do I recognize that?
The thing in his teeth you recognize.
That's,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Charm
back away.
person.
Yeah.
I'm holding tight to him.
Wisdom 13.
I'm backing away, keeping my eyes on him.
Cool. Cal, this is your best buddy in the whole world.
Son of a.
Oh no!
Go ahead and
Why do we
give
do
me
this?
an attack roll against Clip, as Clip is holding on to your bestest best friend.
You know, after last episode and this right now, we have to have a talk.
Ooh, that's gonna hit too. That's a 17.
Yeah, that hit.
Sorry.
Roll some damage, buddy.
It's 5 points damage.
Cool.
Off to the side as he sort of smacks into you a little bit. Cal, you shake your head. You manage to shake off the residual magic as you slam into her.
Did I? Don't do
I'm
that.
still holding on to him.
Don't do what?
He's freaking out.
Not sure.
He's trying to. Not only is he now like looking at Umbra and trying to break free of Umbra, but his eyes sort of dart around the camp, and as his eyes dart towards Birch, he forgets about Umbra completely and like cocks his head towards Birch and starts lunging towards Birch.
Still grappled.
Still grappled, trying to like bite. Now he's trying to bite at his own like arm, thinking it's his arm that's holding him in place.
I cast Gust on him.
Okay.
We're just gonna take a single leg step back and move into like a defensive.
As you take a
stance.
single step back, that firebolt is going to engulf him. In flames. Give me an attack roll, please.
Just attack?
Yep.
Okay. That's 18 on the die. I don't know what to add.
Yep. He engulfs in flames. It is a really quick.
Yeah,
She is still holding him. He is immolated as this firebolt like flies forward, engulfs him, and just he is gone. He is dust in the wind.
There's something you want to tell us?
Did you not recognize that?
No. No, I just cast Charm Person on somebody and I charmed myself, so no.
Were you guys not around?
Birch, his
Yeah.
mouth. You know what that was. That was the sickness. That was the tired. These guys are new to the area. He doesn't remember.
I was dead.
You would recognize the sickness in his mouth. When he starts talking about the black ooze, that was the tired.
completely immolated. Nothing remains. Good.
We have
I'm
to
gonna,
leave.
I'm gonna make a very concentrated effort to ensure that by doing a very good, solid check of the area.
Birch continues to not say anything, but just continues to like
Mhm.
search around the area.
Hey,
We have to leave.
Well, we can't really get out.
we gotta find some way out.
There was a path that was really worn that people have gone over a lot of times. When I found his body,
Yep.
I head that way.
Clip turns and stoically begins walk down this path.
Can you?
There's no. Just let's go.
Did you know this was here?
I didn't know what I'd find, but I, in a way, was looking for this.
So what is this?
That was the tired, the sickness. You've heard of it, right? No. The thing that destroyed Neverland.
Flip your coin. Don't look at it.
Nope.
Do you know what he's talking about?
Would I have heard anything by now about
I think
this?
you've spent enough time exploring this brand new area that I'm going to give you the briefest of bad sickness. Sickness came in, almost wiped out everybody. The island's starting to wake up. So when he says this is where it came from, you get a little nervous. Enwin, what's your passive perception?
17.
You're heading towards a big ass tree. As you start walking down this path and you're heading towards it, this large tree kind of speaks to you a little bit. It's not green. It looks weathered and beaten and black, and but it's off in the horizon. It looks like it's toward the center of the island itself.
We're all following, right?
Yeah,
Clip
as
is not looking.
I'm not stopping.
Clip is just barreling straight ahead.
I'm
I'm
following
taking out
with-
my axe of the rock. I'm on high alert, like watching where I'm stepping. High alert.
Do you know what this place is?
No. Probably at least one of the places it came from. The sickness.
You're one up on a lot of us. So might as well spell what you got.
I don't have much.
Yeah, you got more than the rest of us.
Okay, and we're all walking at this point.
Correct.
So do I see this tree that he's headed towards that he sees?
As soon as he takes note of it, I'm sure there's a huh. And Birch recognizes this tree as the home of the Lost Boys and Peter Pan.
Okay.
And it's a central point in
And
Neverland.
I would recognize it too because I was there.
Absolutely.
Would I recognize it?
Absolutely.
So does this look like the Never that we came from, but
Flip the
just
coin.
off?
Again?
Flip the coin.
Oh god.
Look at it.
Okay.
Which one?
Heads.
Okay. Yes.
That's the Lost Boys tree.
That one.
That one.
That one right there.
That the one in front of you, the one you're walking towards.
All right.
Cliff, you get a message in your head. Cliff, keep walking. It's Cal.
Okay.
The guy standing next to you is not me. Cliff, keep walking.
I keep walking because it makes sense to me because he attacked me.
Cliff, he hurt you. He's not the real Cal. You're gonna get to a point where there's a big tree that's fallen on the ground. It's not the Never tree. It's not that big tree. It's like a fallen tree. Take a step over the log, and I'm gonna pounce on him. Okay? Just pretend like everything is normal. I got your back. I would never hurt you.
What?
Okay.
Okay.
Keep walking.
Okay. You guys continue to walk for a little bit of time.
When we passed by the location where the footsteps were, where the body was originally retrieved,
Mm-hmm.
was there anything around there as we passed by it?
As you begin to walk, give me an investigation check, please. Or as you begin to look around. Deacon Smith gave 100 towards Umbra, 100 bits towards Umbra to say these are for you. T.E. Graves just cheered 25. Another one?
Passing by, I noticed absolutely nothing because that was a 4.
The
I'm
reason-
big. I'm blocking your way, and I understand.
The reason that you are not noticing a lot is because the presence in the back of your head is on high alert. That little voice that tells you where you need to go and when you need to go is something is deeply, deeply off here. It is wrong. It is bad. Like, you should not be here. This is not right. You guys are walking, and then
Would I
yes.
have noticed her change at all from that message?
Would you have thought to look?
I would be staring at her as we're walking.
Give me
so.
an insight check at disadvantage as you were looking at the back of her head as she was walking.
That is a 19.
Yeah.
At disadvantage.
See?
+7. What's up?
She pauses a second. Like Clip, there's a little like pause in her step and almost a side eye towards Cal, and then back, and then she continues to walk.
What's going on?
You don't.
You
know
don't-
No one
it.
except me notices. What's
He
up?
notices it.
Sure enough, you guys come to a spot where the path is blocked. There's a large tree in the center, sort of blocking this path that leads you directly towards this large tree growing out of the ground, this dark, sort of mirror image.
And where are you right now?
I know this is not going to go the way I intend it to, but I'm up on his shoulder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going invisible.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay.
I'll say stay. I will move.
Nope.
No. Nope.
Before you do that, Clip. Clip. You become invisible. Cal becomes invisible. Umbra, Birch, and the Enwin become invisible.
Everyone except me.
As Peg sitting on her shoulder goes, "Got this." Shit.
I cast a message to him. Oh gosh, I made everybody invisible.
Something's up.
I cast everybody invisible. Echoes out around the valley. As that happens, a very visible cow, wearing all of his armor, carrying his weapons, comes walking out from beside the tree. It says, "Let her go."
Can you see me?
To who?
You being invisible?
He says it to
Only one
Peg.
can see.
Gosh.
Let her go.
Let who go?
What did you do? Give her back.
Give who back?
The Clip, the tall one. Give her back.
Give her back to you. Wait, what? Where did you come from? Who are you? I mean, you look like the other guy, but who are you?
Cal's gonna discreetly, like, roll his fake dice in his hand.
Okay. He takes out a pair of dice and rolls them.
Oh, punk.
What is happening?
I don't know you.
I don't know you.
Well, then we're even.
Okay,
Okay,
fine.
fine.
He takes a coin out of his pocket.
Oh, no.
What is this place?
I have no idea. We just came here, right? We walked off the ship and onto the deck, and
You can drop the invisibility anytime now.
I'm not sure I can.
you can drop invisibility.
Okay.
Do you drop invisibility?
Well, have they told me to? I'm not going to do it unless somebody tells me to.
Yes, can you please? I just want to talk to this guy.
Okay, I drop invisibility.
Okay, standing in the clearing. You guys are looking straight ahead towards him, right?
Yeah.
Where's everybody standing? Are we all in a clump?
We
I
would have been a
was
little
Viper
bit further
for me.
back.
Further back.
I was first.
Further back?
Yeah.
I'm probably diagonal from her. So.
I'm keeping my space from the front.
Cool. He walks forward.
Terrible merchant.
Yeah, buddy, looks good.
Hey man, I was gonna say the same thing.
Hey, what you doing here?
What are you doing there?
Her? She's me.
So why'd you hit her?
Because this place is making my things go wonky.
I feel that.
Exactly. So you get it.
I do. Why are there two of us?
The world doesn't need two of us.
No, it doesn't.
As soon as they say that in Primordial, I'm going to tell you to take a few steps back.
So where'd you come from?
The two of them take a few steps back.
I don't like being crowded.
Oh,
That's all.
Nice guy. I like him.
me too. He's alright.
Yeah, is he?
I'm pretty
Where's
great.
yours?
What do you mean?
Where's yours? You know this guy. Where's yours?
Where's yours?
That's mine.
Why did you send me away?
Send
I'm
who away?
actually mine.
They
For the
stopped to
record.
have this conversation?
Yeah,
I'm catching
Wait
up
a
at this
second.
point.
Can I insight this?
sure.
I
My
also-
insight's +0, but I want to insight. Oh, it's a nat 20.
Woo!
Nice.
Well then.
Do I know where there's two of them?
Do you know why?
Yeah.
You have no idea until he says something and it catches your eye. I think you are standing in a clump. Clip, you're a little concentrating on this conversation, Umbra turns to look at you guys and just gives a very, very discreet, like this. And as he does, all of your eyes dart towards the ground as the group who is standing to have this conversation is being surrounded by these small, clear, jellyfish-like entities which are crawling slowly across the ground.
How close are they?
I would say now they're 15 feet away. He caught him right before they hopped.
I'm gonna grab Peg, pull her to my chest, and I'm gonna cast Warding Wind.
Okay?
And pray.
Tell me about Warding Wind.
A strong wind, 20 miles per hour, blows around you in a 10-foot radius and moves with you, remaining centered on you. The wind lasts for the spell's duration. It deafens other creatures in the area, extinguishes unprotected flames in the area that are torch-sized or smaller,
Perfect.
hedges out vapor, gas, and fog. It's difficult terrain for other creatures, and the attack rolls of ranged weapon attacks have disadvantage.
Enwin and Peg are standing in a spot. He grabs Peg, and then Enwin and Peg just go flying towards the tree. The wind pushing the two of them fast and quickly and rocketing them, almost like one of those games where somebody hits the button and it shoots them
I
forward.
didn't mean for that to happen!
As they
My
go,
jacket!
Can I?
as they go rocketing towards the tree.
How far are they from me? If they're rocketing, how fast are they going?
They're going pretty fast. Even
I'm gonna let you go.
Can I look at? I'm gonna look at Enwin as he streaks by and cast stone feather on myself.
okay.
Hopefully that stops him because we're doing some crazy timey-wimey crap with this.
Okay, you basically so here's what
I'm
you do.
willing this to happen.
You cast stone feather on yourself and you outstretch a hand, and as you do, Enwin and Peg are flying towards the air and turn direction and immediately drill into the earth. Surrounded by the warding wind, they are completely protected, and as they hit the ground and crack the surface of the earth, the jellyfish that were surrounding you all begin to disperse and move away, floating off into a different direction, including the cow that was having a conversation with you.
Oh.
As he nods his head, smiles, and turns around and walks away, joining the rest of them. Because as they drill into the ground, there's a boom, as this inky black liquid begins to surge out of the ground, begin to erupt in small little bursts. It's almost as if they've struck oil. The cracks in the earth, and you know exactly what has happened here. The tree calls to you, and you get a burning spike in the back of your head. It says, "Get to the tree."
Going to jump onto something that's not the ground
Okay.
to avoid it, and for the first thing I yell to them, unfortunately, is going to be get off the ground and into the other off-ground area.
To the off-ground.
And then...
How far are we at this point?
You have drilled into the ground. I would say because the warding wind has protected you completely, you managed to crawl out of the ground as the black liquid begins to drill up. You were shooting off towards the tree. I'd say you're no more than 15 feet away from the group at this point.
Can I make you tiny?
No!
Please?
No!
I
Start
will make you
climbing the
big
tree.
again. I promise.
Later.
What do you cast?
I wanted to cast, but he has to be willing is the only problem.
Okay.
But I want to cast Reduce on him
Cool.
so that I can carry him
Perfect.
and fly towards the tree.
You go to cast Reduce on Enwin, and all of a sudden,
Oh, no.
all of a sudden, Peg grows and grows and grows. She's taller than Cliff for a second, and then she is large. She's gone from 7 feet to about 15 feet in height.
Cool, I
And
can
she's-
still pick him up and carry him towards the tree.
You pick up the Enwin and put him in your pocket, and you go, "We're flying off to Neverland."
Flying off to Neverland.
Bye!
They are flying towards the tree as fast as they can.
And that's the first thing that he said was, "Get off the floor."
Yeah.
Get off the
You
ground.
start running.
Alright,
Uh,
lava.
Booking it.
Boom! You start running towards the tree. As you do, more spots begin to open around the ground. More little spots, almost as if this has struck a vein and it's released the tension that had been building. As the ground begins to erupt and little spots of black liquid begin to course down this road. Not so much of a road, almost like a bed, almost like an indentation in the ground, almost like a riverbed. As you guys are walking down this road and running towards the tree, you're going as fast as you can, Umbra. Clip, you're taking off.
I'm using my Neverheart necklace and casting Fly.
Okay.
And zooming towards the tree so I'm not touching the ground.
Okay. You cast Fly on yourself.
Yeah.
And
My happy thought is that of me and the bear did with all the little bear cubs and teaching them how to be big bears.
I'll allow it.
That's a happy
You,
shot.
you fly forward, rocketing towards the tree. It's bad. You guys are running. I need everybody to give me either an athletics or acrobatics check, except for Peg, who is just taking gargantuan steps and running. You get to the tree a good 10 minutes before anybody else does.
Acrobatics or athletics?
Do I need to?
I
No,
was.
you're
No.
carrying him. Not 10 minutes. We'll say a couple of minutes before everybody else does. You are there. Acrobatics or athletics, unless you want to cast something to expedite
22.
yourself.
And then
You make it there plenty of time as you are flying through the air, zipping about. Cal,
I'm gonna-
11.
I'm gonna try Misty Step, even though I feel like it's gonna backfire on me.
okay.
So I'm
God.
running and I use Misty Step.
Oh god.
He doesn't disappear. Umbra begins to cast, and as he runs forward, the world around you shifts. Instead of accommodating him, the world itself breaks, and as it does, you see a couple of eyes, almost watching from the blackness. If any of you have ever been to another plane of existence, if you cast Blink, if you've teleported, there's a small brief second where you're in another plane of existence, and then you are back in this plane. If you haven't experienced this, this is what you experience now. You are in a plane where it's just a figure sort of looking from the darkness. It's a pair of eyes where you can just barely see the features. And it's
I
just a couple of them.
Growl at it immediately.
Give me a Constitution saving throw as the world immediately shifts back. Okay.
Look at it to like try and see what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
23.
Not once, so never mind.
Oh god.
When you look at the darkness, it looks back at you. As you
That's
shift
normal.
back, everybody now is standing by the tree that wasn't there before.
good.
As the world has shifted, that water is picking up, but you are standing next to the husk of the tree. It's blackened.
Me too. I'm back as well.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah.
Does anybody have any idea what's going on? Anything at all?
Sickness coming. We have
Birch
to
is gonna reach out and just touch and mourn
The tree. Yeah.
the husk, the emptiness.
I think as you touch the tree instinctively, there's a slight panel that opens up into the tree itself as a point of entry. As a small opening has opened at the base of the Never Tree.
How small?
Small enough for.
Small enough that somebody 7 feet tall could get in.
Okay.
Sorry,
In we go.
Sorry,
And I
15
go.
foot peg.
I'm not 7 feet tall.
Yeah, the end when you cross through, and as you cross through, you find yourself walking into a small tree. The weather is a lot warmer here. It's not as cold anymore. Like it's nice and chill. It's nice. You don't know where you are, but it's a lot more comfortable.
I'm going in.
Greenery. Umbra takes a few steps forward. You are now walking in difficult terrain, Umbra. You're moving at half movement speed, as there is a portion of you that is preventing you from going faster, as you feel your feet dragging on the ground.
Since I can't get in and I'm like 15 feet tall,
Sure.
but I still have wings, so I'm going to
Sure.
take advantage of this to fly up and get as much of an aerial view
Okay.
of, because I've seen Neverland, I've seen this island and I want to compare it to what I remember
Sure.
and how far it goes out.
Fly up, straight up into the air. You get pretty far up there, and as you do, you expect to see the wide expanse of the ocean, other islands, and things of that sort. As you fly up and up and up, there's no clouds impeding your vision, there is no stars in the sky, so you don't need to worry about anything blocking your vision, but there is nothing to see. There are no other islands about, there are no other pirate ships in the ocean. There is an expanse of what used to be water, which is now filled with debris and columns, and it looks like the old remnants of civilizations, including one that looks to be marble in nature. I mean, you see bodies that are covered in ash, sort of floating in this like area, sort of off in the distance, and your just eyes are scanning and spanning the area.
But I see Neverland below. Is it the correct shape of the island?
It is.
Okay. And the relics of other places are in the ocean or on the island?
Give me a perception check.
Okay. 7 plus 9.
That's enough. It's a big landmark. You scan, you look around, you're trying to find that one spot. That's weird, Skull Island isn't there. And that's when you hear and from the other end of the island you turn around and look, and something almost as tall as you, if not a bit taller, is walking itself out of the water. Out of the refuse and trash, and it's making its way towards Neverland.
What does it look like?
It looks like a man with black hair. You can see the little bits of black hair that is covering his face. Inside, instead of braids or anything like that, there are looks to be full-on ships caught in the hair, almost like jewels in a crown. And as he smiles, in his teeth is this same black oozing liquid. And as he looks and makes eye contact with you, he smiles and then turns and looks at the rest of the party on the ground and calculates how far you are and how far they are and takes off. Rest of the group, what are we doing?
Going in the tree.
Tree?
I would make sure everyone gets in the tree before I did.
Other hand going on the tree.
Okay.
Until
Birch isn't going. Birch is standing, and it's almost like Birch is extending a power towards this tree, a measure of grace to the tree, and Birch sort of nods for you to go in.
So he went in. Did everyone else already went?
Everybody but Peg.
What's going on up there?
Peg and Umbra. Umbra is slowly dragging. It's almost like his legs are asleep. Like he's trying to push.
I'm grabbing Umbra and throwing him into the tree.
Give me a strength. Give me just a strength check, please. Roll a d20. Add your strength.
18.
Black tendrils are leaving his feet and connecting itself to the ground itself, and you're yanking upward, and Umbra seems to be head down, screaming at his own legs as these black tendrils are reaching up from the earth and circling around his feet.
This could be done. I cast darkness.
Don't cast anything. Oh wait, that might be a good idea.
Don't cast!
Wait, no. Okay, you're right. Maybe.
A bright light emits from Umbra, brighter than any that you have ever seen in your entire life as Umbra begins to cast light. Your hit point maximum is going to be lowered by about 10.
That's fine.
In perpetuity.
Okay.
Is all the tendrils still there?
You do not know. But the tendrils burn away. She's able to grab him, and you start running towards the door.
Yeah.
Yep. Through the door. Through the door.
how far away was that going on from where I was?
You are concentrating on the tree with full focus. As per your words, you
Yep.
direct both hands towards the tree.
You're right.
Peg, what are you doing?
I was going to cast, knowing how it worked last time, I was going to cast message at him
Okay.
and say, "Who are you?" Hoping that does the same booming effect that it did before.
As those feet hit the ground, the last two people there are Peg and Birch. as you turn around, and he stops as this voice echoes forth from you. And his hair begins to move about like snakes, the ships clacking against one another at his full height. I'm the first. I'm the last. I am the darkness in the deep. I am the silence in a scream. I am the death in your life. I am you. When the first child laughed, that laugh broke into 1,000 pieces. And that was the beginning of fairies. And when the first child screamed and began to cry, what was born that day?
Well, I suppose you're gonna say it was you.
No. I'm the harbinger. The ground erupts. Black liquid begins to pour forth. It is now getting closer and closer to the tree itself. You have a few seconds if you would like to make your way inside. Peg, the spell that was holding on to make you large begins to shrink as his eyes turn and look at you and follows you as you shrink down further and further and further. You watch as Birch continues to hold their hands on the door, channeling an energy into the door as the Harbinger begins to walk forward, closer and closer, the clang of the ships swinging against one another. Doof, 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 doof. Of this loud sound clacking and almost like screaming as the metal grinds against metal. Or is it the screams coming from the ships themselves as the Harbinger makes his way closer and closer to the tree? What are you doing? I'll give you one more move if you shrink down to about Birch
I'm
level.
going inside the tree so I can let them know what's coming towards us.
Let's go.
Okay, Birch?
That conversation happened within earshot,
Yep.
so the concentration will have at that point moved away and to see what the heck was going on behind.
Yep.
And the encroaching ooze, and this one needing to get in, and me feeling like I also need to get in. Going to, if she's moving towards it, to do the, alright, come on children, into the bus.
Okay.
And then
walk
myself,
in.
yeah.
Give me a Constitution saving throw, please. That's the last one in the door.
16.
Okay, now give me a perception check.
4.
Cool. You feel the slight tug, almost like a rubber band twang
Where?
on your back. And you make your way through the door shuts behind you. As this gigantic hand reaches forward, there's a slight like as the door closes and you find yourself in the tree.
None of the hands inside.
No.
Okay.
We have a simple plan. Everyone goes in the tree. The hell took you guys so long?
Just gonna
I was too big.
lean back on the door and just
That was it.
Push.
We couldn't have just dropped it and walked inside. What happened?
There's a big thing coming our way. It calls itself the Harbinger, and it's
Great.
He did what?
bigger than I was.
He was bigger than
Kinda
you were.
scary.
enormous.
Huge.
Ships for a beard.
Ships for a beard. Oh my.
Daisy's
Well.
book.
At least he's outside.
But for how long until the ooze
I
makes it
don't
in here?
want to know when that comes through the door.
It's close.
Edwin,
We need to move.
yeah.
I'm gonna put my hand on the tree and just go, what happened to you? Like, talking to the tree. It's not actually gonna do anything, but you know.
The tree is fine. The tree is actually quite healthy from where you are. As you sort of reach a hand outward, the door opens up into a sunny day in Neverland. You're at the central part of the island. Yeah. It's you seem to have appeared back to where your journey started. There's an odd sensation as you go, oh crap, like it's getting kind of late. We got to get back to where we're supposed to meet the rest of the party.
How big?
Bigger than I was when I was big.
I don't trust this at
Have to
all.
return.
So
I don't trust this.
are we came out of a tree, but it's close by to where we started?
No, as you come out of the tree, you're closer to the central point of Neverland. This tree is a major focal point. No matter where you're walking, it's sort of a large structure. Movement, it gets a little wonky, and you realize that intention also holds true to traveling Neverland. As you exit out of the tree, there is a brief pause where you two realize that you got to get back because you got a girl in your bag, and it's getting close to where.
First thing I'm doing
Check
is
it.
casting prestidigitation to make sparks come up from my hand. I'm just checking.
Sparks appear out of
Okay.
your hand. It's
All
pretty
right.
great.
That worked.
I saw that.
Well, I didn't know what you thought I was trying to cast. I just.
I give you a berry.
Oh, thanks. I can do that too. I'm gonna cast Good Berry.
How am I feeling after that?
You feel diminished
Yeah.
until you feel a slight tug at your sleeve. There's another one. Would you like to accept it?
Yes.
Okay, got it. You guys are standing out in the sunlight. It is very bright. You guys are taking
Give him
off?
a berry.
I
and then
don't trust
grab
it.
Cal.
It just, I don't trust it.
Okay.
No,
I
it
think there's
does.
a weird I don't trust it and a feeling of resignation as Birch, give me everybody as you leave, give me one more perception check.
Because he really don't like this.
I would like to take this moment to remind you that my passive perception is.
Just in case you
'Cause
forgot.
he really don't like this. It's his.
I also got a nat 20.
Nat 20.
Nat 20.
Woo! Nice!
8.
You two don't notice shit. You're like, what a cool adventure, bye! Butterfly in the sky. You're gone. You and you notice that your shadow is just gone.
Oh.
Like it's a bright sunny day. You're out in the middle of a clearing, and you look around, and your shadow is done. You're not casting a shadow.
How far from the door have we gone?
Somewhat far. I mean, everybody else is. That's the other thing that you check. Like even Peg, as they fly away, Peg and the Enwin, like they're both casting a shadow. As you flip the point again, you don't get an insight into this. You get an insight into.
He just really doesn't trust it. It's worth the flip for him.
You hear a voice in your head, and it's her.
Okay.
As you guys are having this odd moment and you're walking away from the group, you're like, I don't trust this at all. You grab Clip, and Clip like breaks away, and you're like, you don't grab me. And walks forward. You hear a voice in your head and be like, Cal, when you channel my power and kill someone, it's a good day for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a good day for the other person?
No.
For every light, there's a little.
Darkness.
For every person who doesn't grow old, there's someone who.
Stays young.
For every person who doesn't grow old, there's somebody who.
If someone grows old, it's.
For someone to stay young forever, what has to happen to someone else?
They have to be sacrificed. They have to be. They have to be.
Those years don't disappear.
You have to give it up. It's an exchange.
There's always a flip. There's always a chance. There's always a chance that you won't end up here. That you'll end up somewhere else.
What's that?
Can you imagine the resentment that would breed in someone?
Yeah. That's heavy.
Flip the coin. That's where we're going to end tonight's episode.
Oh. We'll have a
Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. As you saw a cool one shot and we got to see the side half of this story, as Cal and Clip run back and they bring the girl out of the bag and be like, "Oh, let me finish the story."
And that's when they move their chief.
Yeah, and the rest of the group catches up with them, and that's where we're going to pick up the episode for Neverland. I wanted to drop some little hints at the what's to come and cool stuff behind and the inverse side of things. Big thank you to Wolf Garin for buying the first welcome home mat from Dimitri's online store, buddy. You said you were going to get this for PAX to make it official. We do not need to make this official. That's totally official. PAX being living in this world. So instead, let's do something. Let's do something fun, dude. How about we bring Trinket into Neverland? Let's you and me work together and do it right. So thank you so much. Deacon Smith, everybody that tuned in and hung out with us, stay tuned. We're going to go raid somebody and share the love a little bit for all the new followers. Big thank you to Meowdiff, who finally got to join us in Neverland. Thank you, Austin, for taking a little sojourn too. For the Enwin, thank you so much.
Or Enwin Reynolds.
Enwin Reynolds.
I'll allow. For Peg, thank you so much for joining us and showing your more chaotic side. Even though I didn't get to roll wild magic, I wanted to give you the gift of an entire world composed of wild magic.
Oh, thank you so much.
I hope you liked it. We love you guys so much. Don't forget to stay tuned to the stream, hang out with us on Discord, and stay for this raid. T. Grace Fully Colored Thistle is going to be on Discord.
Oh, wow.
Drop that Discord link one more time so we can see this fully colored Thistle.
It's already happening.
We love you guys so much. Indigo Connect, and are we ever going to stop exploring the dark side of Never?
Never.
Never. Because the
Love you
DM
guys.
won't
We'll
let
see you guys
us.
soon.